Welcome back to Real Talk, the show where we sit down with real investors, doing real deals, and uncover what's actually working in today's market. Today's guest is Cade Davis, a 21-year-old investor out of Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, who's been stacking wins in wholesaling and even mixing in some innovations as well. Cade's next part of the investors who's proving you that you do not need a big team or decades of experience to make moves in this business. And top of this is his first time on Real Talk, and we're going to be diving really deep into how he got started, what's like building a real estate business this young, and also the systems that actually keeps him closing. So let's get right into it. Cade, thank you so much for being on the show with us. It's a pleasure to have you over here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, definitely. So Cade, most 21-year-olds are still trying to figure out what exactly the sort of career they want. But you're out here locking up contracts. How do you even get started in the real estate? And what did that very first deal teach you about the game?
Yeah, how I got started, keep it short. One of my dad's friends, he worked in the car industry. He went bankrupt and then he found out about wholesale real estate. And then within 2 years, he was a millionaire again. So I was like, hey, what'd you do? Sat down with him right when I turned 18, started doing it. Didn't really do much, and then joined a company for a little under for about 8 months. Learned a bunch and then started going off on my own.
Wow.
Yeah. And then what did I learn about my first deal? What I learned was that just volume negates luck, meaning like I wasn't good on the phones. I had a natural like maybe gift of talking to people, but I wasn't really that skilled, but I still got a deal my first week, like at least when I started working with that company, just because I did more calls than everybody in the office combined.
Wow, that's amazing. That's impressive, to be honest. So technically, you would say like your dad's friend was sort of like the motivator for you to get started in this business.
Just how I found out about it. Motivator was my dad had cancer, and I just had to want to figure out a way to like make money to like,
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Does like being so young in this space obviously comes with a lot of pressure, right? Sometimes people do doubt you, or does it happen like sellers might not take you seriously? Like, was there ever a moment you thought about, what, how exactly I can get through this, or maybe like a certain breakthroughs which you like, which help to actually push you through?
As far as like regarding my age,
Yeah.
no, I mean most of the stuff's over the phone. So like I haven't really walked many properties that I've gone about. So it's like, yeah, I've never really let my age be like I've never really thought about that. Honestly. I mean, yeah, some people will be like, "Oh, you're young," but I just make it my superpower. I embrace it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I am young. We are buying properties, so it's like, okay, and then, and not in an ego way, just I mean, we're buying properties and then yeah, I never really have any kickback too bad.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So obviously you've been running deals in both Dallas, Fort Worth, and also Houston, right? So I mean, obviously that's a lot for one person. Like for you, what exactly would you say are the habits that has been the biggest difference maker, especially when it comes to helping you scale without burning out?
I'm figuring that out right now actually because like I've been doing good recently. It's because I've been taking a lot of action, but I've been getting less, I guess. I've been doing less. Well, I'm doing more now, but I go in like spurts. My next step for me would just be bringing people on. So I actually just hired 2 people to start qualifying leads for me. And so that's kind of like the next step is actually just building a business versus just being a wholesaler.
Okay. And would it be possible, like, you could maybe walk us through one of your recent deals that really stood out? It can be maybe a wholesale or like innovation.
Yeah, I have one really interesting. I got a property. It was actually ISV to Lead Coupon Club, and called the seller up. Had a great conversation. Whatever. Ended up being an inherited property. I got all 3 people on the phone. I got all of them to sign. And then the day before closing recently, and one of the sellers actually is homeless. And I was like, giving him some money or whatever so he can like get hotels and stuff, this, and that. And then the day before closing, he actually gets put in jail. Mind you, this is like my biggest deal within my own company, which is, I mean, it's 25K. It's a good deal. And whatchamacallit, the day before closing gets put in jail, and we're having trouble with like getting notaries to like go to the jail, get it signed, whatever. He ends up trusting me over his entire family. He just recently, it was actually last week, signed me over power of attorney to sign on his behalf of the property, as well as I'm gonna get his funds from the sale and bail him out of jail. Yeah, and that deal should be closing Monday or Tuesday next week. So yeah,
That's pretty amazing. So, like, obviously, there's a follow-up question. Like, how do you build trust with your clients?
with the sellers specifically.
Yeah, with your sellers. Yeah.
I think, how do I build trust with them? I mean, just being transparent. I think a lot of people feel like they have to like lie to sellers and like think wholesaling's like some evil thing and like we're scamming people and we're taking money or whatever. The reality, it's like if you think about it, everybody goes to the grocery store to buy food. Most people don't go directly to the farm. Like the apple that you buy at the grocery store, they're wholesaling it to you. So it's like we're not doing anything bad and just being honest with what we're doing. It's like, hey, listen, we can get you 100,000. I just need to partner with one of my, I just need to, yeah, we can get you 100,000. They really ask any further questions, I'm telling them straight up, like, hey, I just need to get my financial partners in there, be able to fund the deal. And then if it's an ovation, it's like, hey, I'm bringing in a completely third party buyer, whatever. It's just being transparent. It's just being real. It's not like I'm not trying to like. I'm just telling them what I'm doing.
So obviously, at the end of the day, honesty is the best solution to go. Right.
Yeah, it's honesty. That's all it is. You
Yeah.
don't have to lie.
So let's get a little bit into the other side of the real estate. So obviously, you have deal with a lot of like a lot of buyers as well as sellers. So what do you think? What would you say is one of the biggest lie you ever heard a seller or even another investor tell you in a deal?
The biggest lie. The biggest lie. I've never thought about that. I'm pretty gullible, so I feel like everybody tells me the truth. Dude, I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I have no idea. What is some
So,
answers typically when you ask that?
so what would you say is one of the funniest excuse a seller has given to you for not signing a contract? Have you come?
Funniest excuse?
Yeah, the most funniest excuse you ever come across.
Dude, I had this lady recently, like a month and a half ago, and bro, I took her through the whole process. Bunch of people were hitting her up. I'm like, yeah, I can get you this number, whatever. It was a really good deal. It's probably gonna be like, I don't know, all projection, 30, probably a 30, 40K deal, whatever. Then we get down. She's like, I call her. By the way, lady is impossible to get on the phone. I get her on the phone somehow. And she's like, oh, I'm at work right now. I'm busy. I can't do anything. We end up being on the phone for like 20 something minutes. Then like I send her, I'm like, hey, if I send this over to you, like, you're ready to sign, like you're good to go, whatever. She's like, yeah. I send it over to her. I'm like, okay, yeah, go ahead and check your email. Like I just sent it over. She pulls it up. And she was like, hey, I'm at work right now. I'm too busy. I can't do it. And I'm thinking, we were just on the phone for 20 something minutes. What do you mean? So that's my wife, by the way. Yeah.
Actually,
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, she was like, I don't have time. And we were just on the phone for like 25 minutes.
and did they like ever end up signing in the end? Or
No, I'm still following up. She can't get her on the phone. You can move the plant.
so like, do you ever pitch innovation to sellers? And let's say, obviously, so someone who does not know much about innovation, do they ever look like what is speaking a whole another language? Anything like that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I actually had a guy recently that I pitched innovation to, and he was just like one of those, I forgot what it is called on the personality test, but he just needed to know like every little detail, which
Mm.
I was still straightforward, but yeah, it's just I mean, it's not really that crazy. It's like, hey, we're just bringing a third party buyer. We just need a little bit more time.
Obviously, you have done a lot of deals, right? So what's that one deal that didn't go the way you wanted? It could be maybe like a seller situation that blew up, or maybe even the contract that actually like fell totally apart. For you, how exactly did you adjust after that? And what exactly did that teach you?
I can't tell you a specific deal, but I can tell you, I don't remember which deal it happened on, but essentially we had like a pretty big deal, and I was kind of counting my chickens before they hatched, and then it didn't end up closing, and then I ended up just like getting unmotivated, not working for a long period of time, just stuff like that, and focusing on stuff I can't control. So I would say like the biggest lesson there is just like, I heard my mentor tell me the other day too, and it's just like it's an affirmation of it, which is just like, get a deal and then next acquisition, get a deal and next acquisition, get a deal and next acquisition, like always thinking about the next one, because like you can't control, like deals are gonna fall through. If you put your identity or like your eggs in the basket, it's just like, and it gets taken from you, the momentum stops, the flow stops. So I'd probably say that, and then I mean, really just got to get back up and just keep calling, keep working, keep doing what you have to do.
And obviously, the final question, a little bit of advice for the young investors. So obviously, you're just 21, but you already figured out how to close deals in two of the toughest markets in Texas, right? So for someone who's watching this and just starting out, maybe just another young investor who wants to get that first deal in, what would be your one piece of advice you would like to pass down to them?
One piece of advice, I can tell you what I did. I'm not end all be all, but I mean I'd probably go join a company and learn exactly what they're doing and then match model it just like what I did. So with that being said, if you that sounds like you, come join my company. Hit me up on Instagram, Cade Davis TV. I need people. So
Maybe a free internship, right?
yeah, literally. Well, no, I'd still pay you. Paid intern, paid intern.
Paid intern.
Commission. but I'll teach you.
Perfect. So obviously, thank you so much for breaking it down with us today. And thank you so much for being on the show with us as well. So for anyone who's listening who wants to connect with Cade or learn more about what exactly he's building, please reach out to him on his social media. I'll be posting the link down on the comment section below. So that wraps up for this episode of Real Talk. Remember, real investors, real deals, real lessons. So until next time, stay consistent and keep closing. Thank you once again, Cade, for being on the show with us here.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.